And hello YouTube, this is GSmaniamsmart, and I'm returning a brand new video for Gaming with GS, and today we're going to talk about Guild Wars 2 and the most recent patch that just released yesterday. I am back after my 1 week of vacation, and I gotta tell you, it was an amazing time. I had such a great time. If you guys want to see the vlogs that we did with Ariana, you can definitely check on my main vlogging channel, GSmaniamsmart. I'll leave a link on screen right now as well as in the description if you want to check that out. But it was so much fun. I had a blast. I come back yesterday and Monday. I came back really late Monday though. And yesterday I was looking through all the things that were happening in Guild Wars 2, and God, so many things happened. We had a new trailer that was released, that happened like a day or two after I left, and then we had like a new blog post and an interview from Queen Jenna that was posted too. Lots of cool stuff. Maybe I'll go over it. Kind of seems pointless to go over it now though, since Living World Season 3 has already been released. But today's video, I just want to go over the patch, share with you all the cool new things that have been released, and go over each little section of the game that was updated. So let's go ahead and first start with Living World. The first episode, Out of the Shadows, is here, so you can start that. You don't need to have Heart of Thorns completed. You can just start Living World Season 3. And as we predicted, I think a lot of people knew this was going to happen. I was one of the people that said this was going to happen as well. That was going to start off very calm, and we may go and honor Air's death in Holbrack. And guess what? That's exactly where we go. That is the first thing you do as soon as you start this first episode, Out of the Shadows. And you should see some footage in the background. In fact, there's going to be relevant footage in the background for everything we're talking about. So if you like to watch and see relevant footage, you can. Otherwise, you can always listen as usual. But first episode, really cool. I did like 2 or 3 missions already, and it's really fun. I like how everything is so integrated with voice acting, and there's not much reading anymore. You can literally just listen to all the dialogue. It's really cool. They've really stepped it up. And I mean, we've had this in Heart of Thorns, but I just feel there's so much more in it in Living World Season 3. We also get to see the name of the new group for Destiny Edge 2.0 that we all voted on. I won't give the spoiler away, but just play the first episode. As soon as you go into Holbrack, you'll see what name was picked. And I can't remember if I picked that name or not. I think I did pick that name, but pretty cool to see how we were able to actually have an impact on that. And there's also a new map, the Bloodstone Fen Map, and along with that there's also a new entire mastery track. There's only one mastery line in that mastery track, which is the new Ancient's Magic Mastery. I'm sure they're gonna expand that because there's only one track in it, and it seems kind of weird to only have one track, so I'm pretty sure they will expand that. But for now, we have one new line in the new Ancient Mastery track to complete, and that is unlocked as you go through the new Bloodstone Fen Map. The new Bloodstone Fen Map looks really interesting. I haven't spent too much time in it, and I'm sure there are a lot of things to do in it. I'll definitely make videos about a lot of the stuff in this patch, separate videos focusing a bit more on specific aspects of the patch, such as this map, so don't worry. But so far, the new map looks pretty cool. They have daily achievements for the new map, specifically towards that map. They have new achievements in general. Just I heard you can get some new consumable gobblers, I think it was called. I saw that somewhere. I don't know where I saw it. I think I saw it like on a Reddit post or something like that. But we'll go over all the details probably in a separate video. But definitely recommend you check it out. You do need to have Heart of Thorns to go into this new map, so it is tucked right above Verdant Brink, near the raid areas, so you really can't even access it unless you have Heart of Thorns. Along with that, they also have a ton of new Fractal Changes, and the infusions work completely different now. I'm gonna have to redo my Agony infusion video because it's completely different now. The new Fractal was released. The new Chaos Isle Fractal looks really cool. It's like a mixture of all the fractals. I like how they put it together. You start at Cliffside and you start going into like the Asuran area, and then you like see some stuff from the thermoreactor fractal, and then you see like a certain snowblind elements from that fractal. It's really cool how all those things are mixed together. Really enjoyed completing that fractal. Swampland and Snowblind have also been revamped, just like Cliffside was revamped the last major patch. Swampland and Snowblind basically got a similar a redo of the Fractal. Right now, we used to always have Swampland have 2 paths where you fight Mossman and then fight Bloomhunger, but now you're going to be fighting both bosses in 1 path, and they've basically changed some things around. There's also a rifle prototype now that you can use to help in the Wisp collecting event. The underwater portion is gone, and they've also completely changed the Bloomhunger encounter because it was kind of too easy. So that's been completely redesigned. And Snowblind has completely been redone as well. The fires have been changed. I believe now you have an action skill where you can light fires. The elemental source encounter has been changed as well. Lighting the fires is going to be a lot more important. And then the boss mechanics at the end have also been changed a bit too. So Snowblind is pretty much going to run very similar, but it's going to run a bit differently now of how you complete things. It has the same elements still in it where you light the fires and then you fight the elemental source and you have to keep the fires burning, and then you go through the forest and then you fight the boss. So it's similar, but some mechanics have changed and some things have been redone to make it less painful and a lot more enjoyable. Each Fractal has also had some bugs fixed, and there were some nerfs and buffs to each also made. If you want an in-depth breakdown of that, you can definitely look at the patch notes. Anguish Tears of Alba. These were actually potions that could be used to give yourself agony resistance. However, the only problem with these potions was that they never really stacked. If you already had agony resistance, it didn't stack on top of your already acquired agony resistance. So they kind of weren't as useful. But now the Anguish Tears of Alba potions can now actually be stacked on top of your agony resistance. So you have 100 agony resistance, you can actually use this potion and boost your agony resistance by another 15 points if you have the mastery point in the Fractal attunement. Now, if you don't have the mastery point required, it'll only boost it by 10, but if you have the mastery point, it'll boost it by 15. So that's a free 15 extra Fractal agony resistance, and it's very easy to get. You can buy from one of the merchants inside the observatory, where you basically go to select your Fractal and you can change Fractals where you wait for people. So that's pretty cool. I'm definitely going to be using those a lot more now as well. Ascended salvaging kits have also been added to the expert and the master tier daily achievement chest loot tables. Those are great to have now because now we're able to get them from chests, and before we only could buy them, and quite frankly I never bought them that much because they costed a whole gold, and the chances of you salvaging something and getting actually profit out of it was kind of low. So at least now we can get some of these out of the loot. We also have a brand new UI for the Fractals. It looks really clean. I love the new look of the new UI. You have all the Fractals, which Fractal it is. It tells you which are the dailies. It tells you how much agony resistance you need. It's separated by tiers. It makes it just so much more organized and so much more cleaner. You don't have to open your achievements section and check which Fractal is the daily and then go select your Fractal level and then go inside. You can literally just open the UI. It tells you what the dailies are and what the tier dailies are, and you can just go on and do them. Now, another big change is a change to infusions. Infusions can now be slotted into any kind of ascended equipment. No more restrictions. You know how some equipment had like offensive infusions only or defensive infusions only, and then you had like utility infusions only. Well, now all that's gone. All that confusion is gone. They do still have utility, but it's renamed to enrichment, to basically for balance, so people don't stack experience boosters or like don't stack magic find utility infusions. But you can now have any infusion into any piece of ascended equipment. Obviously, utility and amulets are still basically intact, so those are still the way they were. But as for any piece of ascended equipment, you can now slot any infusion into it. There's also a new Infuse 5959 in the observatory. That's been a vendor. It now sells infusions. It also sells vials, globs, and shards of condensed mist essence, as well as agonized essences. And these are some items that we needed to find in Fractals that were RNG drops. Well, now we can actually buy them with gold. We can actually buy infusions with gold. You don't need to go to the artificing station anymore to basically craft all the way up to plus 11 or plus 9. Now you just need to have a ton of plus 1s or plus 3s or plus 5s or plus 7s or plus 9s, and you can automatically convert those into 3s, 5s, 7s, 9s, or 11s very easily. You can also now buy, yes, you remember how we had to craft the infusions that had the attributes like a mighty infusion or a precise infusion. You need to have like 250 tier 6 materials. You need to drop it into the Mystic Forge, and it costs so much money. Well, now you can actually buy these very same infusions that give you attributes. So not only does the infuse 59 sell regular infusion, but it also sells infusions that give you agony resistance, and it gives you +5 to an attribute that you want to boost up, and that's really cool. So the old infusions, those recipes are now gone. However, you do have an old infusions, those are now buffed for the trouble of crafting them. So if you have those, you will have higher stats than people who have the bought ones from the infuse 59. So pretty cool. Now we can actually have a bit more of an easier time boosting our agony resistance up. Now we can actually have a bit more easier time to stat maxing our character, because instead of having to go out and farm for all these tier 6 materials or buy them off the trading post, now it's a bit more easier. I'm pretty sure it still costs a lot because you do still need a certain item. So Fractals had a pretty big overhaul, a whole new Fractal, and it had some fixes as well. Really happy with those changes. As for raids, we also now have a forfeit command for squads, so you can type in /surrender or /resign or forfeit, and you can automatically just restart from there. That's really handy and useful. There also were some bug fixes in the Stronghold of the Faithful, but other than that, if you want to check specifics out, you can check the patch notes. As for professions, each profession has had some buffs and nerfs. I'm not going to go over all of them. In fact, I'm not even going to touch on any of them, because if I were to go over all these, we'll be here for another 30 minutes or an hour. So I will say this: if you're an Elementalist player like me, we got nerfed. First thing I noticed as soon as I was playing my Elementalist was that Lava Font was on a lot longer cooldown. So that got me by surprise. So that may change some rotations if you're an Ellie. I heard that some of the recharge rates for attunements also got decreased. There were some nerfs to the Ellie. There were some buffs to other classes. And if you want to check the full list out, it is categorized by profession, and it do give you a pretty good breakdown in the patch notes. I'll definitely leave the link to the patch notes in the description so you can check it out. But a really cool feature that a lot of people are happy about, and if you're a ranger, you're gonna love this. I remember Ariana, who's my girlfriend, who actually played ranger. She loves animals, right? So she wanted to play a ranger, and I told her, if you want to play ranger, you can name all your animals, right? And as soon as she got her animal, she wanted to name them all. But one of the things that really sucked was that the animals never remembered their names. Well, now finally, all the pets that you have, you can now name them, and they will all remember their name. And that's such a cool feature. It makes playing Ranger just a little more enjoyable. It makes it just a little more immersive if you like naming your pets, as other games have always done very well. At least Guild Wars 2 is now up to the standard as well, and now we can name all of our pets, which is just really cool. On the PvP side of things, we now have the new Revenge of the Capricorn map, and I gotta tell you, I love the map. It looks beautiful. The splash load screen looks beautiful. The map just flows really well. We actually won our first match. There are also a series of limited time achievements, so if you're playing PvP, make sure you play the Capricorn map, because there are achievements that are for a limited time only available to celebrate the release of the map. So it's a really fun map. You gotta play it. It's so much fun. Maybe it's so much fun because it's a new map and we've been stuck with the same maps for the past years now, but I really enjoyed it. I played it earlier today, and I definitely recommend you to try it out at least once. You can now play this in unranked and custom. Not sure if they're going to move it over to ranked. They may once it's out of beta, but right now it's in beta, and you can only play it in unranked and in custom. One of the more exciting changes as well is now you can enter queues outside of the Heart of the Mist. This is something that a lot of games have had other than Guild Wars 2, and now finally we have that same feature. Kind of came out of nowhere, because I never expected they would do this. I never really had a problem with queuing in the Heart of the Mists. It would have been nice if I could move around and do other things while I'm waiting for a queue, and now we can do that. It's really cool and really convenient. A lot of quality of life changes just like this came in this patch, and it's really cool that ArenaNet is listening to us, because I'm sure a lot of people have requested this. Also, when a PvP match begins, we also now get a really cool cinematic opening and closing when the match starts and when it ends, with both teams and their portraits and all the members, the little portraits of each team member, the emblem and the name. Looks really cool. I really liked how that change was made. When I read it in the patch notes, I was like, is this something like League of Legends now where you have, like, you know, all the portraits of the champions? And it sort of is kind of like that, but it's not so huge. It's just small. It's just perfect. I love how it looks. It's the perfect size, and it just adds some more flavor to PvP. There's also now a UI at the end of the match that allows you to team up with other people. So if you had a really good group that played very well with you, and you feel like you want to team up with them, there is now a option on the left side of the screen where you can join up with your team members to go into another match. And that's a really cool and neat feature that I also didn't think was going to come, but it actually came, and it's very useful. There's also a new reward track based on Living World Season 3 that you can start once you complete one of the achievements. And there were also several bug fixes and additional pathing added to Spirit Watch and to Skyhammer. There's also now a reason to report someone for being AFK. Now you can report people for being idle. You can select the idle player option when reporting someone, and that's something we needed for a long time now, because every time someone was AFK, you'd be like, okay, I'll report you, but what are you going to report them for? There's no option to report for idle player. So that's pretty neat now. And lastly, the last update for PvP is that there are now 2 new amulets, but it seems like the Elementalist class is always getting screwed over. A few months ago, they took away the Celestial Amulet, and that was pretty much what all the Elementalists were using. Now, what a lot of Elementalists are using is the Cleric Amulet, and they took the Cleric Amulet away. So I'm gonna have to like redo my LE guide for PvP. But do have 2 new amulets now. They look pretty good, and hopefully those can be hopefully the Cleric Amulet can be replaced with one of those or with some of the other ones that they have. 2 new amulets for one being taken away. Hey, I'll take it because we get an extra one, so I'm fine with that. I'm pretty sure they took it away for a good reason. Moving on to World vs. World, not much really. We're still waiting for the big World vs. World overhaul. They have made several big changes in the past few patches, so there is progress being made, but for this big patch there wasn't really much. The new reward track, just like in PvP, is available in World vs. World. They added bankers to each team's starting area in Eternal Battlegrounds, Alpine, and Desert Borderlands, so now you can access the bank from there. But other than that, not much else really added to World vs. World. As for guilds, some pretty exciting changes that have been requested by many people. I've seen both of these new features that I'm going to be talking about have been asked by several people, and it's great to see that the guild team is listening and actually fulfilling these requests. We now have a new guild anthem upgrade that's added to the tavern, and this anthem, you can pick one of 15 choices. It will basically play whenever guild members complete certain actions, like completing guild missions, stomping with a guild finisher in PvP, completing guild upgrades, placing a hero banner, and several other ones. And several other actions. We also now have a new guild monument upgrade. You can inscribe text on graves, signposts, and statues, and this is really cool. I saw several posts about people saying that one of their guild members has died, and they all wanted to have a way to add, you know, a special little statue or a monument for them. Along with this, decorations have also been increased from the max of 1,000 to 2,000, so now we can add an extra 1,000 decorations in our guild hall. And there are also several bug fixes with decorations. If you want to check those out more in detail, you can check the patch notes as always. Lastly, I want to go over some of the general things that they fixed. First off, experience that you gain now in Corteria or in Heart of the Maguma if you completed all your masteries will continue to go up, and you will earn spirit shards. So if you're someone like me who's completed all the Corteria mastery tracks already, and you basically feel like, well, I'm getting experience, but I'm not really getting anything for it. Well, now you are getting something for it, because your experience bar will continue to go up as you gain more experience, and every time you reach the max, you will basically earn spirit shards, and it continues to repeat. You'll basically get a ton of spirit shards for experience you gain in Corteria, or if you completed all the Heart of the Maguma mastery tracks, then same thing, you'll get spirit shards every time you gain a new level. So that's always useful. Health percentages can now also be shown. I remember in a past video I talked about health percentages being seen in the developer mode of the game client, and I guess a lot of people found out about it. And ArenaNet thought it would be a good idea to give us health percentages. Well, now you go in your options, you can actually check mark an option that allows you to see health percentages, which is really useful for raids, because now you can see how close you are to phasing. Recipes are also now account wide, and this is something that I've wanted for so long. whenever you get a recipe in Terrir or in any of the maps, really any of the Heart of Thorns maps, you get a lot of recipes, and every time I'm always like, well, should I activate this recipe on this character, or should I put it over to my weaponsmith or over to my artificer? And I'm always, I know some people are very obsessive over that and very, they want to have everything organized and not waste any items or any recipes. Well, now, any recipe you use, no matter what profession you are, no matter what craftsman you are, use the recipe and it will become available on all of your characters account-wide. And this is something people have been asking for a long time, and finally they've done it. Another amazing quality of life change. But what's even more amazing than this is something we've all wanted for so long, and it's the ability to salvage all of our items by rarity. If you wanted to salvage all of your blues, you can now do that. If you wanted to salvage all of your greens, you could now do that. If you want to salvage everything in your inventory, yellow and below, you can now do that. There is a neat little option when you right-click your salvage kit that says salvage all fine materials and lower, up to salvage all rare materials and lower, and it's really useful. I love this quality of life feature. It's gonna make salvaging so much more easier, and a lot of people are happy about that. What a great little addition to the game. Really loving that feature. I've already used it a ton, and I'm gonna be using it a ton more. One of the biggest criticisms that Guild Wars 2 has always had is the lack of emotes. Well, with this new big patch, we've gotten new emotes, and they look really good. We have cross arms, which is slash cross arms. We have our character being sad, which is slash sad. We have our character talking, slash talk. We have our character thanking someone or just showing thanks. You can do slash thanks or slash thank or slash ty. And we have our character being upset. You can type in slash upset or slash facepalm, and the same emote will play. So 5 cool new emotes. I'm hoping to see a lot more in the future. I hope they add more, and you can imagine how long these must have taken to go through animation for all the races. I'm glad they did it. I'm glad we have more. It's always good to have more emotes, because I know a lot of games that have a lot more emotes than Guild Wars 2 does, and it's great that they're updating that list. They also now have new map pings, which look really cool and really modernized. You can now make a check mark on a map, or you could put a warning sign or put a danger sign. All you gotta do is hold shift and click your mouse. I think it's left click or right click, one of the two, and you can then, just like if you play League of Legends, you know how you ping, you can move down, left, right, or up to put a ping. Well, very similar on the map now. When you hold down shift and click on one of the mouse buttons, you can then select which ping you want. Other than that, we have nothing else really other than Black Lion things. They added 3 new additional hairstyles to each race and gender if you use a total makeover kit. They also added the new Verdant Executioner outfit for 700 gems. Not really my style outfit, but if you like it, you can get it for 700. And lastly, we have a brand new Black Lion weapon skin set. I definitely want to get one of these. Maybe I'll give one of these away as well in our 3,000 subscriber giveaway, which I know we've already passed long ago. I will be making a video this week telling you guys what day we're gonna have that giveaway, and tell you how you can enter. It is for the EU server, just so you know, but more details on that coming very soon, sometime this week. But I'm gonna be getting definitely one of these weapons. The staff looks really cool, the shield looks really cool, the swords look kind of weird, but I'm gonna be getting a staff for sure on my elements list. If I'm not gonna buy the sparkling staff, 'cause I remember the sparkling weapon set looked really cool too. I need to look at the prices and see how much I can get, and compare prices and see how many tickets I have. I think I have like 2 or 3 tickets in my bank right now. And that's pretty much it for the patch. Like I said in the beginning of the video, there are some other things that have been added into the game that the patch note didn't really mention, because they want you to find out on your own as you play through the new map and as you play through the story. But if I see anything, I'll definitely be making a video towards it. I have some videos planned already for this week, so be prepared to see those. I think they'll be very helpful to you and very useful. And as I said earlier, also we'll go a bit more in depth into some of these new changes, like the fractal infusions, or like the new PvP map. If I feel like I can make a whole new video explaining each of these, or I feel like it'd be helpful to you, I'll definitely make a video on those specific topics. But we'll see how it goes. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this patch. I'm definitely enjoying it. I've had a lot of fun so far. I've played about 2 or 3 hours of the game this morning before I started recording and taking notes on all this. The Reddit AMA with the developers has also already happened, and for those of you who are not on Reddit or want a summary video, that is coming up tomorrow, I believe. I'm going to try to do that tomorrow, where I go through the entire Reddit thread and collect all the ArenaNet developer comments, and I basically summarize it for you. I'll definitely do that and have the video up tomorrow. That's probably going to be tomorrow's upload. So lots of stuff in the news for Guild Wars 2, lots of in-game content to go through, and I think we're all going to be very happy, and I think I'll have a lot to talk about in the days to come. So thank you for watching, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go and subscribe. Plenty of other Guild Wars 2 content on the channel, plenty more to come in the future as well. If you like this video, like my other videos, you can always donate $8 to my Patreon page. Anything as low as that is always very helpful and very much appreciated. I also have a tutorials channel, a gaming channel, which is this one right here, advice channel, a music channel, and a vlogging channel. You want to check those out, links in the description as well as on the end card. And with that, that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching as always. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. This is GSmaniamsmart, and I'll be back sooner than you think. Don't go anywhere.